Oh God, you went so fucking fast, Jesus. Hey
Hello.
everybody. Welcome to tonight's episode of Homeward. God, you just went right there. No breaks. So hey everybody, hello and welcome to tonight's episode of Homeward here at the Night Asylum Twitch channel. Woo. It's been it's been a bit since we cats, so many cats, since we had well, we were continuing the story, but tonight we'll continue right where we left. Just as a quick recap for everybody, our still don't know if your heroes are main protagonists. I was gonna say antagonists, but no, our main protagonist.
I think some of us are more antagonistic than others.
Yeah, our main protagonist of this story had a couple of days for them to just meddle with their own affairs and also try to help on their respective sides to the ship, the Dralark. And after they reconvene with the group and at the bridge, they got some news that specifically the issue with trying to go back home, one of the main issues is that the drift engine is not stable. So it can do small jumps, but longer jumps would be terrible for it in many aspects, and the sensor relay of the ship is damaged, so it can't very well locate the signal inside the drift that would lead it back home. And after getting some of the power moved to the observation deck and kind of like more or less get the more specialized sensors that are not as damaged in the ship, the crew, along with our main protagonists, managed to pick up of a nearby system where there are a couple of planets where they can get a good a couple of resources that they may need, and our heroes decided that they were gonna visit first the tundra-like planet that is a bit of the outside of the system, where there's some energy readings very close to pure arcane energy that are emanating in the poles of this planet. So after you guys were in the observatory section of the ship, you make your way up and up above all the decks to the bridge, and the doors open as you finally arrive to the bridge, and you still see the same officers that you left before there. You see a Bohibel, this the La Junta has been like kind of somewhat operating a bit on like how where people are going and things like that. You see the Berneri officer, Alduri is still managing some of the comms, and other blues officers here and there that haven't been introduced, but you recognize now because both the uniform and because you've seen them around in the bridge that they're part of the crew that manages this area. And you see that Bahibel looks toward you, and in the large holographic table display that is in the middle of the bridge, there's already some information that has been sent from the observatory to the bridge about the coordinates and the information of the specific planet that you intend to visit.
Oh, was that the go signal? Okay.
Apparently, Sekrenkov
Her-
is.
Sekrenkov is the go signal now. Got it.
Right.
Hi, buddy.
And scene. Go.
Vahivel is, my main man, it seems, since the repairs.
Why are you needing my arm? If you're gonna do that, you're gonna get down.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I feel weird about it now. Okay.
But yeah, I feel like S would just go up to where the holographic table is and join the officers in the looking around, looking at the holographic information, just to get that's where S goes.
Kay will stay standing kind of to the back. I think there are others that are better pilots than me. And she's going to look over at Mac and then look at the otter person. And I don't really know what to do up here.
While Mac is loaded in,
Ah.
and there it is. Mac finished refreshing.
Not a fan.
Mac had a small update.
Yeah, it was just software update. Don't worry about it.
We don't want to hear about your firmware.
This is a software update. I corrected myself. Thank you.
I'm sorry. There's a little bit of Hudson in there. Carry on.
It's been 3 minutes. Yeah. What? Mac has been zoning in and out, so that's really in character anyway.
There've been some thoughts going in and out for you out of lately. It's just he was mentioning that they're better pilots than her in the bridge. Well, she said that.
Complimented. Okay.
Yeah, and in general, you see like when the group that is like kind of assembling, they kind of indeed look toward you as the other 2 pilots are down at the observatory.
Mac is kind of, again, she's still kind of staring off into the middle distance, not really looking at Kay, and also not really looking at anything. And then he kind of realizes that everybody's staring at him and just goes, did I miss something? What's going on? Why am I being stared at?
Should I scare you again? Will that bring you back to us?
Please don't.
I believe we were discussing your accolades, actually. So
What?
Maybe
don't talk about my accolades without me being present for the conversation, as I am unclear as to what that means.
Your talents. Skills. Yes.
Whoa, what I'm good. Okay. Yeah. He's just offended by package. Yeah.
I think they're asking for you to pilot the ship to the planet.
Yeah, I can fly the ship. Yes.
Controls in the bridge, the helm section, it's completely free. There's nobody else in there for you to go and take in. And here is a question for you. Do you want to try to roll for it to see if you can hasten the trip over there? With obviously the possibility of maybe having something
not.
of taking longer, or maybe some other situation, or
you
do you
could
want
do
to
it right, or you could fuck it up royal. That's what you do.
Well, no matter what, my modifier is 16, so I guess we can roll it.
There's the possibility of also
there's a possibility
taking
of
taking 10 or taking 20, but it will take you longer as you're like being very cautious. And
what if we get a co-pilot in there?
Yeah.
Actually, what I'm going to say is because you can get a co-pilot, sure, to help on the navigation. Mike would be on the helm itself, while there's a navigator along with her. Sorry. And also you're receiving information from the observatory, so you're also getting an extra plus over there.
Mm-hmm. So, do I get a plus or am I getting an advantage?
I'm going to say plus, just because how things are working. So I'm going to say you get a plus 2 from the help from the data of the observatory, and depends if someone else is going to help.
I'll be co-pilot and help.
Then I would say you would get a plus 4 out of all that help.
Hits dice for me, buddy. He put his paw on the dice. Okay, that's going to be just as good.
Didn't think we got casino rules up in here.
He just put his paw on the dice and I just rolled with it.
More
so
like casino rules.
yeah, it's casino rules. Just put his paw on the dice.
I am on fire today.
So Sekarine, how do you feel about 35?
So because you've been working in ad engineering, you know how unstable the Rift engine has been. The drift. The
Yeah.
the engine has been and calculate more or less how to make the jump without pushing it too hard. But as you're doing so, you begin to feel an overconfidence to even like, I think I can push it a bit further. I think if I took it a bit more, I can push it a bit more and a bit more. And you're making your calculations, you're preparing the ship to go into drift. And as you
succeed?
You're sending the information to him, to Mac. And you're seeing that he is taking it very, very quickly and even kind of faster than you're able to like send the data at a point that even Mac is almost doing a bit at times both the job of the helm and the navigator. You begin to align the ship first, and I would say as the front of the ship begins to show like a bit of a distance in front of it, the rift into the drift opens, showing this like purplish realm which you begin to jump across. I would say instead of taking the more or less 8 hours that would took going fast, you're gonna take only like 4 or 5 to get there.
I'm awesome.
You even feel confident that you could at some points leave it in autopilot, but you're still gonna have to like still be at the helm, just making sure that everything is going through. And even if you're pushing it this far, you're keeping the engine at a good pace. But yeah, you guys, for everybody but Mac, that will be at the
I was helping. I was co-pilot.
You were helping indeed.
S was helping.
You're still helping on that part. You're still sending some information because like so a bit of explanation of the drift is like it's like a second realm that is in between. So distances are weird. So you still have to navigate and getting some readings around it, like kind of using the sensors to see across what would be at the other side of the drift nearby to not go overpass. So you're still sending information there, but Mac has this. But you guys now have like 4-5 hours where you can.
That +4 really clenched it, though.
You're pushing Dralark at the situation and the state the Dralark is. You're pushing her a lot, and she's giving you what you're asking, but. Yeah. So for you guys, what you want to do, if you want to do something in this.
Go ahead.
Go.
No, you first. You first. You started first. You go first.
Yeah. S will just prepare because we're going to a tundra, so S is like cold, and while cold may not quite affect him as it might others, still gonna go get some warmer clothes and prepare for that. Because I don't think S would have it already, so he's got to go like scavenge for clothes.
I just button up one button on my jacket. I'm good.
I know Kay had a thing, and I don't want to interrupt you, but my thing is related to S's thing, so I'm just gonna throw it in there. If Null hears that S is gonna go try to find cold weather gear, he's gonna be like, I believe I have at least a couple somewhat fancy. Not fancy is not as important. I took a cursory glance through my belongings, and I appear to have a few surplus jackets. If you would like to take a look at what I have, just minimize our searching time. No pressure, of course. If it's not quite your style, I just thought I would make the offer.
I mean, I really, style's not quite important to me if it's functional.
Excellent. We'll go see if we can find anything functional. And then Null would like to present his elbow and just very astutely walk back to his quarters to dig through his clothing.
As a little flummoxed, will take the offered elbow.
Just
Yeah. It's like, this doesn't normally happen. How do I respond?
process
the elbow.
it.
It's like, it's like, manners, okay. This is nice.
Full fear just starts running the other way.
That is all.
Thinking
from
on
Null.
this, Kay will also go get warm weather stuff out of their room. And then you said we have 5 hours.
Between 4 and 5 hours, yeah.
Okay, I don't imagine that'll take more than maybe 10 minutes.
No, it
So-
wouldn't.
Kay will go try to find and like use the communicator to find Kreltwan and Megan.
This is also something that was mentioned, like in the like.
The
Well, when
last
you guys got,
episode.
yeah, they were more or less in the armory area, so you would, time has passed for us, but for our characters, it's been minutes, so you would more or less remember they are over there. So
Okay.
you also like still send the ping in the communications to
like,
make
are
sure
you
they're
guys
still
still,
there.
over there? Because it's been like 20 minutes since I talked to you last.
Yeah, I think actually for them, you probably haven't seen them in the past days because just
No, I just mean like since the first time I asked where they were at to now,
Ah,
it's
okay.
only been about 20 minutes.
okay, yeah, sure. So you begin making your way, and it takes you. There's ways of transportation inside the ship, so you don't take like a long time walking from one place to another. You take some of these elevators and a bit of the transportation to move quickly, and you get to. First of all, you hear that they have moved a bit, like to gather more people, and to still are in the process of taking corpses toward I think for the undead ones that were taken to the reprocessing areas of the ship, while the other ones were moved somewhere else. And you heard that on that last time they are moving over there from the armory over there,
Okay.
kind of toward the living area. So I give you just some time to go grab your stuff and then go into the living area and kind of hang a bit around. And you do see some of the people that now you have identified because of the uniform as the part of the Legion, of the Skyfire Legion. Like they're kind of standing there, and one of them notices you. This is you recognize it might be an android because of like it looks very human, but in some sections of the face, there's some slightly glowy lines that makes it look like, where the lines where the mouth would move and some of the sections of our expression would move, they're there. And it does notice you and like approaches you. Excuse me, you are Kay, right?
I am.
Hi, Commander, yeah, Commander Krelton and Megan told us that you were becoming. So, if you could follow me, they were going to a specific section before getting more occupied. So he nods and kind of guides you across into some of the hallways that are like begin to be the side of the main large hallway of the living area. And as you move in, you to see that this is where they're moving most of the bodies that have not been that are not mutated or not mutated. Sorry,
Undead.
they were not turned undead. They're still putting them in. There's a bit of a smell, but there's also been an effort to keep the area as clean as possible, and among them you eventually see a bit of in the distance coming through some corridors the large silhouette of Kreltuan being this dragon king, and Megan shorter, thinner, but
Still like right next to him.
yeah, they're walking side by side. And you even see that they're almost walking in somewhat of a synchronized
Step.
pace.
Okay.
And they're coming along with other officer, well, not officer, but other people of the Legion. And as they're coming through, there's also some of the ship security, the ones that have these like teal and gray colors in the uniform. They're coming along with some extra passed away people. And there's 3 of these officers that are struggling carrying a large one, which you identify quickly as another dragonkin that apparently died during the moment.
Mm.
And as you see that one of these legionaries is walking along with Kroltan and Megan seems to stop. And from a distance, you begin to see how their expression changed from like a calm, like serene to almost an expression of breaking down in the moment of uncontained sadness as he takes a few steps and just like knees to the metal of the floor, and the others immediately try to grab him, grab this human, and there just seem to be some what's the word? Not
Commotion?
confusion and commotion among them.
Yeah, I will walk up and very gently touch the mind of the person who's like sobbing uncontrollably and try to figure out, did they remember something? Or is this just because of all the death? Like, what can I tell
Roll-
based on their surface thoughts what is going on in their head?
Roll me sense motive, as it will be a bit of a that presence of your mind there, and also reading the situation.
So nat 20 for 27.
Boom.
Wow. Okay.
These are my lucky dice. They're the first roll. Why? I'm gonna
Nice.
nat 1 my next roll, but you know it's nice that it's
fine.
doing this now.
Yeah.
I got a
it's fine.
35 on the cat dice, so
So you getting that, and as the first thing you go as you walk into this person, you see that their eyes are fixed on the recently arrived corpse of this dragonkin, and there's that sobbing as like trying to reach for that, but they're also like their knees are they just can't hold him at the moment. And there's also both in the emotions that is like outgoing in his mind, and also the expression. You're reading a lot of confusion, a lot of like
Why am I feeling like this?
there's a lot of that, but also a very deep on the hit moment that you realize that someone that you knew is no longer with you, and you just received the news.
Okay. Like they were close to them? Kind of feeling? Or they were just somebody that you knew? Like they was like... Because in my line of work, I get a lot of news that people die, and it's like, man, that sucks. I don't like break down and cry. Now, if somebody was to tell me that my husband passed, I don't think I could stand.
The person is not able to stand. This person is
that helps me as a player understand
Yeah,
what's
no, this
going
person.
on.
Yeah,
Kay
this
doesn't
person
fully
is.
get it, but well, she has an idea, but it's not
Mhm.
as strong of an idea as I have.
Yeah, no, this person right now. It's crying for someone very close that has died, and they just are seeing the body of that person.
Okay. I will just put a hand on their shoulder and not say anything physically or mentally, and just kind of give that thought process of comfort to them to try to help them kind of reel it in a little bit.
The others that are nearby. Um, Reltuan, it's at the moment like saying like, what's going on? What's happening? Are you right? Like it's like bombarding with questions. Like I need information right now.
She
I'm
puts a
asking you.
hand up, and then, like, she puts a hand up for him to stop, and has this moment with this individual trying to help them for a second, and then the head kind of turns to the side in this creepy way. Creepy for us, but normal for Kay. It's a natural movement. It's just like I think they were like you and Megan, but I am not sure. Have you two figured it out that you can talk telepathically yet?
Both look between each other, and then at you, and at the same time they say yes.
Good. That's part of it. I have much to explain, but first let me help this one. And then I try to help the individual stand up and kind of move them out of the way so the body can be placed with the other bodies.
He follows you with a bit of help from another legionary that they're a bit heavier, so you help them move. There's no resistance. There's still a lot of conflicting emotions in his face, like not fully understanding why they're feeling that. And
Kay
you move
will
them to the side.
explain it to them telepathically. And at the end of her whole entire explanation, which I will get to because I'm going to do the same explanation to the living peoples, so everyone else will understand, but she's going to go through this whole explanation, and at the very end, I'm very sorry for your loss.
The human looks up at you, says, I knew him? Like, they're trying to speak. They're trying to talk, but
they just can't get the words out. Sit for a few minutes. Process your grief, because that's what this is. And I will come back and help you.
There's a nod, and the other legionary like nods at you, like kind of like giving you the "I got this" as they like sit next to them. There's at first a moment like I'm just sitting here with you, I don't know what to do, but then follows up with like a holding hand with this person, and just for a moment the two of them being kind of vulnerable to each other.
So switch. She's gonna get up and go over to Carltwan and Megan. So, how much have you figured out?
We figure that we can speak like how you speak with us, but just the two of us. We also figure that we also kind of I sometimes feel the same things he feels, like, or sense, like we're on each side of the room, and they're hearing something, and I get that, like if I was hearing at the same time. And we also feel
You
that
act
don't
in sync with one another in a way that other races can't comprehend.
both not hesitantly, but staring directly at you.
From what information I have gleaned from my notes and the records that I have, and she's going to hold up a data pad, you two are a bonded pair.
Ray is just
Sorry.
losing it.
Megan,
Ray's just
it's
losing his shit over
Ray's just
there.
losing it.
Megan has an expression of continue. Kreltwan makes the gesture of
Excuse me?
which is very accentuated because of the large snout and dragon shape of his face. Like there's a lot of movement because of that. Like,
he gives me the fucking excuse the fuck out of me. What did you say? What does that mean?
Yeah.
Gotcha. So your race, and she's going to gesture towards Kreltwan, can form a bond with another of a different species. It is not a romantic bond, typically, but you are together effectively until one of you dies, in which case you'll end up like that one back there. It's a deep connection to each other. I don't know exactly how it works, but the reading material I have is fascinating. I can lend it to you. Apparently, it is such a strong bond and inseparable partnership that it is the reason you two are in the same legion. You cannot be separated.
Both nod and like look at each other and look back at you. All that explains, sir. We've been seeing the other legionnaires, and there's others like me, and yeah, we've been seeing that there's that situation going. It's just I thought it was just something weird that happened between Megan and I. But if it's natural, that okay, that's good. But
You are also, and she's going to gesture towards Kreltwan, the commanding officer of this group, if you had not figured that out. And Megan is your second in command. I have a psychological profile on your group and with pictures so we can at least identify everyone. Help them get their names, some semblance of who they were based on the notes that I have.
will be, yeah, if you can lend that, I will be very appreciated. God damn, I'm the commanding officer. Megan looks like at him like, "Ugh."
Your group is called the Kronos Lance. The other thing that I can tell is that, and please do not take offense to any of my notes, but you seem to be more on the harsh side, Commander, and your bonded partner helps to balance you out.
When you say harsh part, what was that? What does that mean?
From my notes, I would say you can be aggressive. I would ask to take caution on being any type of aggressive with the people here. They might fall apart on you with the confusion that they have.
Right. Okay. Well, then, if I have this one to my side, then I guess I can. I'll keep it. I'll keep myself on check.
Again, I am sorry. I am going by my own notes, apparently. And the head kind of looks down, but the eyes are still looking at them. It's weird. Bugs. Bugs. But, yeah. Kate kind of nods to them both. Don't separate if you can help it. Until we have more figured out.
Like, you're not sleeping alone, Megan. He shoulders him. And the other Megan rolls his eyes. Thank you for the information, Kay. We will take this into consideration, and once we have the information, we'll relay it to the rest of the Kronos lands. That's
Kronos lands, yes.
okay. We'll relay that to the rest of them so we can take those measures and possibly prevent something like that happening again. And he looks back toward the other legionnaire.
Guys, you're breaking me. Stop.
I'm sorry.
Oh my god.
Okay. Chat, they are going nuts in a private chat over here. I apologize. Just to give you guys some insight onto what is going on in this chat.
Don't look at us. Just keep playing your game.
Yeah.
Nothing important's happening. Don't worry about it.
Hashtag no context.
Yeah, no context, right. You're lucky I don't read this whole chat to them.
It's been...
Anyway. Kay will nod and pass over her data pad that has just the Legionnaires' information on it. This is a copy that I made.
Megan takes it.
Not to be weird, because it's a little uncomfortable for me to say this for some reason, and I wish I knew why, but I think it's really cool that you have each other. And the concept of riding a dragon into combat sounds really cool. So if there is combat and he needs to fly somewhere, just know that you can ride upon his back and shoot things. You two have a synchronization that no other races can really understand. I broke Sakurai. I think I broke everybody.
Fellas, is it gay if you ride your dragon friend into combat?
Stole my joke.
So at that comment, Megan's expression of I forgot the name of it, stubbornness and stoicism breaks into the same expression of like, what the fuck they just said?
Kay doesn't repeat it. They just turn around and go towards the guy, like casually walking. Just like, I said this, it's there, and I'm gonna go help this other guy now. See you guys, have fun with the information.
I dropped this bomb and it's no longer my problem.
Pretty much.
Mic drop.
Yeah, you go away and there's with your sensory ability, you do recognize there's like some gesticulation between the two of them. You gather there's some talk going on mentally.
Telepathically, like you are
More-
not doing that.
I would say a talk, but the gesticulations and expressions are more of a discussion.
Yeah, honey, we're not seeing that therapist anymore. She's weird.
As for the cold weather gear that Kay gets, it's a wool poncho with a hood that has little slits in the sides for the arms to come out, and they have arm warmers that go all the way up to their shoulders. I just
love
wanted
that.
to describe that.
Oh, that's so cute.
It's adorable.
Absolutely adorable.
I love Kay
Mac-
so much.
That Mac has put the least amount of effort into this. That's completely in character. He's just buttoned one button. That's it. Oh, it's slightly colder. Second button.
I also love that nobody else was here for this conversation. So nobody has any idea what Kay is up to.
Oh yeah, no, we just trust Kay to do what Kay does.
You seem trustworthy and
So
stable and not at all finding everything fascinating and scientific.
I trust
That's
every
the chat
bug.
who's had to deal with us. For the last 5 minutes. Who's just had to watch our slow descent during that.
Meanwhile, in the officers' area, this happened a bit earlier. This, like some minutes earlier, as S and Melodius were in Melodius' quarters. You enter, and you've been there, like checking some of the jackets and things like that. Anything particular you guys want to do also in the meantime, or just
This
your-
is real nice, but you are a bit shorter than I am. It seems that the arms don't come all the way down.
Well,
I mean, I do have the hoodie underneath, so it kind of helps, but
yes, of course. Perhaps some gloves or somewhere, and he has like, as they've been going through his closet, there's like a pile of coats. It's just like stacking up on his bed, like way more coats than one person needs.
this is the best fitting one.
It's the best fitting one. It's just me in high school with like that much sleeve because my arms were fucking long, and I was so little. Okay, sorry, I was hoping we could find something useful.
I'm very appreciative. I had no idea where to start before. Like, I was just gonna see if I could find a place since I've got the map of the ship memorized.
Right. I hope you don't mind my saying, although what I'm about to say is possibly quite personal. I just, when we were previously in your quarters, I wasn't snooping by any means. Apologies, though, for the intrusion. I did notice that you seem to live a very Spartan lifestyle, just with your possessions, and it doesn't look as though you had settled in or really made the space your own. And again, it's not a judgment call or anything. I have no idea how long each of us were on the ship before we lost all of our memories. I just wanted to... I mean, clearly I have all this shit. And he like gestures around at his very, very cramped, like not small. He has larger quarters than most people, just like things. He's got ephemera, he's got art, he's got books, he's got lots of clothes. It seems I've lived a bit of a maximalist life, perhaps. And I feel guilty about that in comparison. So I wanted to, I suppose, welcome you to whatever of mine you could use. Sorry, I'm botching this quite badly. I
Thank you. Thank you. I know when we met, when we met this time, it was frantic. And I had a sense that we knew each other before. I don't know how, but I feel like I recognized you before the explosion.
I had gotten very much the same feeling. And I'm hoping we can discover more about why, perhaps, or I'm still not entirely sure how I came to be in the sort of undead state I find myself. And you were there, and I'm hoping we can piece together what happened.
When we get connected to larger networks again, I can try my best to help research on what happened. With my lifestyle, I, from the small memories that I have remembered, I seemed to, with whatever life I was living, often follow a job to a location. It doesn't seem like I stayed put very long. So I believe my lack of possessions and settling in is so that way I'm always ready to go, no matter what.
Are you thinking that is something you will want to embrace again? A very nomadic lifestyle? Which is fine, of course, if that's the path you choose, but I'm hoping, among many other things that I'm hoping, that this experience, if we can call it that, will give people a second chance, maybe, to take a path untaken before, or something like that. So if that isn't what you want to do, well, I support that wholeheartedly. But of course, if you do, I'm sorry,
No, yeah. I like it when you ramble. I don't often have the best words. And I don't know. You just have a lot of them, and it's nice to listen.
Well, I have pardon my language, but a fuck ton of books. So I assume I've read most of them, and one will probably gather words over that. And all I can hope to do is eventually put them in the right order.
Yeah, I saw your books. I like reading too. I just can only hold so many on my person. So it's nice to see someone have a lot of them.
Well, in that case, please avail yourself to whatever extent you would like. My books are yours if you would like to read any of them. All I ask is that you don't dog-ear the pages.
Okay. Okay. I won't show you any of my books then, because you not like them.
He does whatever the space equivalent of crossing himself is. I don't know what it would be.
Right?
I'm not sure that he would know what it would be either. Never mind. But yes, let's see if we can't find you something with longer sleeves.
Yeah.
As you do recall from your I'm gonna steal this from
Go for it.
our private chat from your GPS. You do find quickly in the living area that there's some stores, locales designated for clothing. That you could go and visit there in
Yeah.
case you don't want to go to your quarters for them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I would have any. Most of my
Bye.
yeah, but I've got credits.
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
don't-
there's probably nobody working the stores because they don't
Are
know
they
that
your
they need
credits?
to work.
It's true.
I have access to them that makes them my credits.
God, imagine if you lose all your memories, but you remember that you work at Starbucks. Like, you wake up and the only memory in your head is like, I
Have to
I
go
gotta
to work.
go.
I work at Banana Republic. Oh, I gotta go to work.
You
That's
okay,
like the
Ray?
only memory you got.
think I'm having a nosebleed. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are.
Carry on. I'll be
Okay.
fine.
So, I think politely S would, after trying more of Noel's jackets and not finding any that quite fit him, because there
Oh,
is the
boy.
height difference. Yeah. S would make his way to one of the stores and end up getting, finding a selection that would fit him better.
you are able to find that. It takes you a bit, but you find the one that is appropriate for your style, for your size, and those things.
Cool. If I have got a moment, I've got a quick description that for what he would get.
Sure,
So, he has a thermal layer that he would pair underneath with his second layer for the armor. So it would be the armor, second skin, thermal layer, regular clothes, and then the outer layer, which would be a long asymmetrical, sturdy coat, and it zips up to a high, thick collar. He'd get a beanie-like hat to cover the head, goggles, and then sturdy but not too super thick gloves because he needs to use his hands. And they would have on the tips the area where they could interact with touchscreen, so that way he can do all of his technical stuff.
That's so much better than me. Even when it's negative, I hate you outside, I wear
Uh-huh.
fingerless gloves.
Oh, for me personally, I am the same way. I have to have
Same.
fingerless gloves, but S is a smart boy.
Same. I
Like, I could pick up
Yeah.
snow with my fingertips and not really feel it. But if it's in my palm, then I have problems.
There we are.
yeah, like
Yeah, like those.
for most of high school, every day I wear fingerless gloves every
In
day.
Mexico? Isn't it hot?
Not
Yeah, and
really.
it's got the sepia tone and everything. Is that great?
No, not the sepia tone.
Anyway, as S is making his way back, suddenly the hole is breached. If
The meteor
Look at this.
crashes through and only hits S.
just fuck you guys. I'm out.
Oh,
Ship
well,
explodes. Mac
we'll
makes it go
continue.
into the sun. Miscalculates. Blows us all the fuck up.
But yeah, so that would be what S ends up getting after some trial and error.
Okay. Yeah, it takes you some time to do that, but you're able to find the attire of your desire and of your liking. Meanwhile, at the bridge, Mac, you've been driving for the past piloting.
No, I've been
for
driving.
the-
Yeah. It's the
One
equivalent.
arm laid back and just like turning
Yeah.
up the stereo.
Yeah, I'm driving. See what you want to do when you're driving a ship like this.
God,
It's
You,
the
you've
wild
been
sepia tone space. Yes. God.
you've been piloting in the ship, and you've been taking a few like moments. You've been a bit nervous for the past hour or so. Piloting, when you began piloting, like you began feeling more comfortable, and before you were not feeling like you could stand it's still for a while, but now you've been like focused on this, and it's really driving you into a good like concentration just doing this. And as you're doing this, roll me a intelligence check. Well, I should say a memory check. It's just straight up intelligence.
Well, a smart check. Got it. What's my smart
Ward.
modifier? Can't remember. That's my smart modifier. I can't remember.
How much was it?
What do you want for a natural 20?
We're good. We're good.
It's a little mushroom if it helps. A little mushroom.
Oh, nice. So you're piloting and slowly just losing your focus on the view on the windows in front of you, seeing the drift. This like how to describe it? Instead of the black void of space, it looks like various shades of purples, dark, like dark violets, some soft pinks here and there as
Are
it
we in
just passes
ludicrous
by.
speed? Did we go plaid?
I don't get the
Love
reference.
ludicrous speed.
Oh come on!
Spaceballs, the
I've made
movie.
you,
Spaceballs,
I've made you
the
watch
fire-
Spaceballs before,
flamethrower.
haven't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't
Spaceballs, the
remember that part.
lunchbox.
I don't remember that part.
They've
remember
gone
many-
to plaid.
Gone to plaid.
Like the whole ship is just in plaid because they're going that fast.
Really was.
Oh, we have
Their
to
legs are
rewatch
hanging
that.
out. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. You need to get those references. It's important.
I don't need to watch it again. I
Yes,
watched
you
it
do.
one time and it was enough. I don't need to watch it again.
Apparently, we just need to sit Zachary down, like just tie him down and make him watch a bunch of space-themed movies.
That he's never seen before.
Yeah, apparently. Ray, don't look at me like that.
Another way. As you're like losing a bit yourself and watching the drift, there is a moment that you look down into the controls, and these are not the like very fancy, very well placed controls of the Dralark. They seem like this ship could use some work wherever you are at the moment. And ahead of you, the view is still the drift, but this is a different ship. Somewhat, if you could call it rusty kind of feel. And instead of having like the pilot, like pilot and navigator, you're a pilot and behind you, there's a navigator, as they say. Well, that is a very good run, rookie. I'm glad we got you for the trip. What'd you say, Captain? And as you turn around, the captain you see, it's Anisoki, one of the small rat humanoids that are around. Yes, I think you're a very good pilot, considering even your back record. I'm glad we took you in. Well, we'll do a couple of these runs, and once we're finished with them, we'll see about having a more permanent contract for your piloting. What do you say, boy?
Seems fine with me.
Good. More of these runs, and you'll clear that record that you have. Hopefully, there won't be more troubles in the ways. And as it's speaking, you hear beeping. But you know where this beeping comes from. It's not from the ship controls or anything.
Is it from me?
You adjust yourself in the seat, like comfortably. Press your hand over this section. And you hear another voice. Well, Amos, got them where we wanted. Just keep them traveling like that in the next few days, and we'll be catching you up in the next stop that you make, okay? Also, for that speed, I'm gonna double your pay for the next plundering we do. Just remember, make their drift engine not being able to do that next jump. See you around, kiddo. And you hear the communication cut off as you nod and go back to driving the ship that you're supposedly recently hired. You blink and you're back at the Dralark's I wouldn't say pristine, but more modernized and more advanced bridge.
I immediately take like 3 steps away from the controls. I first set it to autopilot and then take 3 steps away. I make sure we don't crash.
You're not crashing into anything in this.
Or break or anything. I hit the autopilot button, Sekran. I've made sure to do that.
With a 30 fucking something,
With 35 something, I hit the autopilot button.
You do. You step up, like stand and take a moment like to walk a bit around as you think about that. That memory has mixed feelings. A bit of fear, but also pride. And then you're not even fully sure what was that. Just the idea of, I did a good job that day. And there's just a mix of feelings about that, like pride, but also a bit of disgust.
Mac is gonna put his hair up in just a kind of a routine at this point of just trying to move forward in a way, because his hair fell down when Kay scared him, and he just hasn't put it back up since. So he puts it back up now, and then just waves to somebody else to take over the piloting for now and to call him if they need him. And then
you stand up and you do see the other 2 pilots, the Vesk and the I do have their names here. Why am I just calling them by the races? Give me a moment.
I don't think we learned their names.
Actually, you didn't ask their names. That's right. Never mind. You do see the young Sheeran.
I didn't ask.
Bad people.
I'm Mac. What do you want? You just found out that I'm not a good person.
Yeah. Like the Vesk and the young Sheeran. Actually, both are kind of young. They catch you up and like, oh yeah, sure. Like, they go and take the helm, and you go into you go inside the elevator, the turbo lift that would take to the bridge, and close the door, and you're there in silence at the moment.
I just look frazzled as all hell. Like even check nets. I just look like I'm just something's up. I just take out a cigarette. Don't even care anymore. I just smoke as I'm walking towards anywhere else.
As you wander around the ship for a while, eventually time passes, and you hear a familiar voice of a Brenneri officer. Bridge 2, Nelodius, Mac, S, and K. We're asking you to report to the bridge. Please report to the bridge. You hear across the hallways.
Reading our names off of a piece of paper.
I'm fully imagining it's not even a paper, it's just his hand.
His hand.
Smudged ink.
It's the little otter beans.
Oh, my heart. I forgot he had beans.
Melodious written on one bean.
Quick thing. After S has got his winterwear and ready to go, he would return, especially with the call from the bridge, and return the favor of an escort elbow out to Null because he's awkward and doesn't know how to respond except in kind.
Null is delighted. Quick question, Sekrin. I have been imagining that my moss ball lives inside of a jar of water. Does it live inside of a jar of water?
I was also thinking it lived inside a jar of water.
Cool.
Jar with water.
Um,
It has a keychain attached to what would be the cork, which it would be designed so it doesn't like pop only, like you have to screw a bit the cork.
something like this, perhaps.
Yeah.
like this item I have sitting on my desk.
It's a bit bigger, but yeah.
Something slightly like the jar I have out of reach. But he is going to make a point of making sure it's on him and then tucking it inside of his shirt to keep it warm so it does not freeze and crack.
Okay.
That is all.
Yeah, it is where you last put it in your person.
Looks at it
Okay.
suspiciously, tucks it in his shirt, takes as his elbow. Shall we?
Sure.
It's so nice to have people know your name.
Okay, as the door to the turbo lift opens, you see S and Melodious side by side.
The head tilt. And
Hello.
Oh, are we both in the elevator?
just a questioning expression, kind of. And like there's a sense that there is something that wants to be said, but Kay is thinking it best to just keep it to themselves at the moment. But that sense of are you gonna say something?
Mac is in the back corner of the elevator with his like pressed up against the wall. He smells like cigarette smoke. Like after that, he definitely smoked like 3 cigarettes.
Oh.
He's still looked a little frazzled too. He's like, there's something weird going on. That probably doesn't look okay.
Like,
Kay does the there thing that Baymax does.
There.
yeah. Like, I'm now like
Just
creating
get, like a
a
stare of just, why are you touching me right now?
yeah. I'm personally now I'm kind of having like a Mac is not okay kind of scale. So we write 2 instances on it right now of first night sharing the room and then this
Now.
instance. And I'm now creating where the spectrum is lying.
On a scale of 1 to Tiamat,
Oh God.
how evil is he?
How evil is he?
Sorry,
really funny.
that is specific to anybody who has listened to the podcast, hoarding around.
Or lived through it.
Or in Sekrine's case, lived through it.
God.
By the way, the
That's
scale only goes up to 5.
Because the heads.
Yeah, I figured.
So, on a scale of 1 to 5, how uncomfortable is Mac right now with Kay trying to console them because they obviously look distraught?
The uncomfortable scale is at like a 4, but the evil scale is undetermined.
What?
That's why he's so uncomfortable.
You reach up to the bridge all together, and as you the door opens, you see on the windows across the bridge, you are still in the drift. I forgot. I was gonna start speaking Spanish. Cool. Bohibel looks at you guys and like perks up a bit. Hey, just in time. We're about to arrive in a couple of minutes here.
Was I able to recognize any of the bodies that were in the holding area that I was in?
Ooh, roll intelligence.
That will be 17.
You do recognize some of the faces there as some people that you were checking in your files, and you like kind of pick up like, oh, this person might be that one, this person might be that one, and some that are like very loose fragmented memories of seeing them here, there, maybe seeing them in your office.
Did I see the captain among the dead? Having a memory of what their face looks like.
Don't remember if we've talked if you had the memory of how his voice sounded, but in that memory like got caught off before you were able to
okay.
look. Yeah. But at least by that I would say you haven't seen someone that has like an indication of like captain ranking or something like that
Okay.
at the moment.
Okay. I was just curious. The captain was booted off the ship before we even lost our memories. It's his fault.
Yeah,
He's the
He's
traitor,
the
not
imposter.
Mac.
We hate that guy.
He's the imposter, not me. Obviously.
Secretly playing Among Us on this freaking thing.
Among Us? Sorry.
You saw the captain getting into a vent.
Guys,
Imagineer guys, I swear.
Yeah, so you're there in the bridge, and you saw this time compared to the first drift jump you did on the Dralar after waking, the exit of the drip is more stable instead of like hitting the brakes suddenly. As there's a flash of light as there's a rift in front of you that opens, and you exit right into the blackness of space. A star brightly shining at the distance, obviously because of the size. It looks somewhat small, but you know it might be like years and years of like years away from you, but it's still illuminating the.
I have a question.
A
on a
valid
moment.
question.
Okay, valid question. Okay,
What color is the star?
If it's green,
Normal?
we quit.
If it's
Done.
green, I'm backing up the ship and we're going back into the drift. We're picking a different planet.
It looks of a normal color. Like you see a bit of a yellowish, bright coloration.
Okay. We're good.
Yep. And in front of you, looming massively across your horizon view, this tundra planet in front of you. There's some fringes that look toward the poles. It looks more covered in snow, while in the where the equator area would be, it's more of a green sections with some very large lake areas splattered across the land.
Well, good show.
Thank you.
How are we getting down there?
Another ship.
Okay.
Says Paul
Smaller
Haven.
ship.
There's I think you, and he says, looking at S, you might know this, we do have a hangar. And there are some available ships. We contacted the, you see, he makes an expression of like, of the hangar chief engineer. His name is Tarasin. He mentioned us that there's some available ships that could be taken by a group. And yeah, from there, you might go to the pole. That's where we read this we got these readings. He moves and manipulates a bit the whole graphic table, and you see again display of the ship, not the ship, sorry, of the planet, and it moves so it shows more of the North Pole, where indications of almost like another fringe across surrounding the pole, the North Pole, where there's indications of what would be arcane energy fluctuating in a pronounced but stable manner. So, with information from engineering and a bit of the confirmation from people of the science division, we confirmed that this is where we could find some of the crystals that could help stabilize the drift engine. So just take a shuttle down there and grab some of those and bring them back over here.
Yeah, easily done.
Take ship, get shiny rocks, come back. Got it. Granted, probably won't be that simple when we get there, but
It was a bit derisive to say it like that.
I did say it probably would get more complicated when we get there, didn't I?
Sure, it's just rocks are important and deserve more respect. Sorry. I don't know what got into me.
Is that Melodious or
Never mind me, keep going.
Plants,
Watch
not
out,
rocks.
Ray. You're letting your geology show a bit.
is that Melodious or Ray? Because I could believe it's either.
Okay.
All right. Well,
will-
our
Go ahead first. Before we leave the ship, I want to do something, so I just wanted to say that.
will we be, our team only once we get down there? Like, comms will be unavailable until we get back.
We don't know. I think there can be a way to what's the word? Link communication between the ship, the shuttle you take, and your communicator directly, so we can communicate with you. I think Alduri will be keeping tabs on you. So
All right.
any questions you may have that we can operate from over here, we can lend a hand. But once you go out there, probably will be more on your own, along with whatever you take with you.
Yeah, no, just we've been talking for the past few days. Just want to make sure if our comms are going to be cut.
Kay will take out her Prog, whatever,
Prog.
Twisty. and,
Twisty!
pass Twisty to one of the actually to the other Sheeran on the ship. And this is my pet. I like it a lot. Will you watch over it until we get back?
The young Shirin looks at it, extends his hand to receive it,
I will
and Twisty.
gently drop Twisty in his hand.
For a moment, it drops like
Jello.
some
Like goo?
yeah. So it's
It's
like
Flubber.
yeah, it's like
basically flubber. It's flubber or it's morph from Treasure Planet.
yeah. There's like that, like viscosity,
Morph.
and it's like grabs it from him. It thinks he's gonna drop it, but then Twisty has movement of its own and like moves to the side of this Shirin and forms into a simple but nice looking bracelet. And they look at it. Sure. I'll keep it. I'll keep it safe. Yeah, I'll keep it safe. Nothing bad will happen. Nothing bad will happen to you.
Don't
Twisty's
let
gonna
it
be lost.
near- Don't
Twisties
let,
those weird jelly bands from the 2000s.
Oh, silly bands. Love those things.
it's a slap bracelet.
You're right.
That's better.
Don't let it near the electrical. I don't want it trying to eat that. If it starts trying to go that direction, give it like a fork or something.
Please
or
don't
a
eat the
cup.
electrics of the ship. It took a lot to fix them.
Yeah. I'll do that. I'll do that. And you see that it begins patting around to search for a fork or something.
Or
that it
like
can-
there's got to be a mug full of coffee on this ship, like on the bridge, because I just imagine that somebody has a mug of coffee. So like
Where's the coffee?
It if you head down, there's like a little nook. It's like a cubby. You have all the coffee session.
There's Starbucks on the third floor.
There could be like
Tim
next to the
Hortons.
bridge area
Yeah.
where you can get coffee, donuts, and things like that, like a resting area next to the bridge.
Yeah, S always like ends up going there for coffee and never anywhere else. And it's like even if he has to take like the long way, it's always the bridge coffee break room is where S is going to be getting coffee.
All right.
But yeah,
That's
Um,
all I wanted to do. I
Um,
wanted to make sure Twisty was going to be okay while we're on a frozen wasteland.
As because it's just while we're I guess we're walking to the hangar with
Um,
GPS leading the way. Is this okay?
there's some walking, so I don't recall if there was an image of the trial arc available. So Yes,
I,
there-
like,
I think Mac wanted to say
Well,
something.
Mac actually would like to talk to Kay. So
Okay.
so it's a walk and talk while we're going there.
yeah, walk and
Yeah.
talk.
yeah, you
So
have time.
as always, I would assume GPS is leading the way
And that's where he defaults these days.
at this point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mac will actually kind of like take Kay's shoulder, pull them back a bit,
Yeah. Okay.
and were you able to get into those files and stuff?
Some, not all.
This sounds so strange. Did you learn anything about me? Because I got a weird memory earlier, and I don't.
Your
I don't know.
file was abbreviated. It required a security code that I did not have. It was the one that I could find was designed to give to someone else. You were in rehab for something. I don't know what.
Stealing
Uh,
chips.
Don't be too real, too soon. I mean, I know I was a criminal of some kind. That's what I remember.
What you were and what you are two different things. Right now, you're helping us save this ship. People will regard you as more of a hero than anything else. Don't worry so much about your past right now, and worry more about what we can do to secure our futures.
Well, that's true. It also worries me about my past if I did something that somebody else might be not exactly happy with, might be after me for. I mean, there must be a reason that I'm here.
If somebody is after you, we will deal with it as a group, as we are trying to deal with most things. And if it's something you're not proud of, then you can always work to change what you have done to be better.
All I know is that when you made that noise earlier, I don't know what it was. Just suddenly a feeling overwhelmed, and I can't explain it other than terrifying.
I am sorry.
Like
It was not my
something-
intention to terrify you.
it was like something that had happened before.
Oh. I don't remember ever making that noise before.
Not like the noise, but the effect that it had.
Ah. Hmm.
But
Well, Kay is just processing at the moment, like trying to think of the right thing to say. Mainly that's mostly me. I don't have a sharp brain today.
Oh, it's okay. But and I had this memory while I was piloting earlier about another ship. It wasn't this one. But I sabotaged their drift engines.
Then you know how to fix them.
Good point. It's probably why I'm good at it. But whoever I was wasn't a good person.
If you don't want to be that person, then don't. The only thing you can control is what you do from this point forward. You can't control your past or change it, but you can do something about it now. Be the person you want to be, not the person that you think you were.
You're a very good therapist.
I'm freaking glad someone thinks so. Sorry, that was me, not Kay. Kay is
Hey,
monotone.
Also, Sky, you're a very good therapist.
Meanwhile,
No
I'm
wonder
just
they
like,
had to, see you.
have Kay and Noel been reading the same book? So like, you don't have to be the person you were before.
And no wonder they apparently sent me to deal with you. But I'm sorry for apparently whatever I did that I don't remember doing. That may or may not have been violent towards you.
I don't hold grudges, at least right now. If it becomes a problem in the future, we can discuss it.
That sentence broke secret.
I don't hold grudges. At least now.
It's now.
We can discuss that in the future. So threatening, but also
I'm
not
sure.
at the same time.
I'm
Okay,
sure.
so I want you guys to know that Kay talks very monotone, which is why the noises that they make are very cicada-like.
Mhm.
Other Sheeran are like grasshoppers, beetles, and cicadas, and like a bunch of different bug types that make chirpy noises.
Right.
And Kay is still figuring out how they're supposed to interact with people, which is why coaching somebody on interacting with somebody was weird for them. But having the
Nice.
memory there helped. It was just, it's been a ride for Kay.
Oh, it's great.
Mac trying to cope with being this new person on top of what he was as another person. It's just weird for his brain.
Choose your own adventure, Mac.
He's one of those books, isn't he?
You could change your fate.
Chad,
Would
you
you?
want to change your fate?
So the hangar.
Yes, the hanger.
All right, we had our conversation. We're good.
So to the hangar, there are from the bridge. There's some hallways.
Sorry.
You go a couple of decks below, and then back toward the. From the bridge, you would arrive directly to where it's the hangar control area. So where you enter is this control area, like kind of like a tower control kind of situation, but inside the ship. And there's already a lot of noise going on of like moving things, repairs going on. It's a bit muffled because of the windows, and all of it is happening at the other side in the actual hangar. But from this side, the one that is doing the most noise is Kasatha, one of those like 4-arm aliens that have like a bit of a long stretch head. He has this attire of one of the engineering people of crew of the ship, but it seems modified enough to hold like a couple of tools and a couple of things like attaching the arms so he can have easy reach of them. And he's just shouting.
I'm gonna walk up. Like, not even gonna.
He's like shouting orders and like through the comms, like you're not sure if he's annoyed, he talks like that, or what is the deal. But he's just like commanding things there and just telling people, no, that's not the place. You have to take those things. I told you already.
Are you
God,
the
I
head?
really-
Are you the head engineer?
Oh, Jesus. What are you?
I'm S. We were sent by the bridge.
Ah, you're the people that said they were going to send to the planet, right?
That's us.
Ah. There's like no mouth. There's just the eyes, which are very expressive, but the sound, you're not sure from where it's coming itself, its voice.
hmm
And it crosses his first set of arms, and these other two arms are like on his hips.
S just has his hands in his pockets at this point.
It's not your place to judge us. It's your place to give us a ship.
See, there you go. More people giving me orders. That's great. Okay. Well, then, pick your ride then. And he points toward the windows where you can see. At the moment, you identify 3 types of ships that are in the hangar. The first one, which I need to snip because motherfucking internet doesn't. Where's the snip to? Why is not?
PG-13, Sakrin. Goodness.
Yeah, that
Use
means
those bad words.
You say fuck
PG-13.
once.
Yeah, you get it once.
You get one, Sakrin.
All
Is
right.
it per episode?
While he's doing this, we are going to take a short break. Well, actually, no, never mind. Because I was going to say I have to pee, but we only have like 15 minutes left, so I'll hold it.
Yeah, we're about to finish because next thing will be going into the planet, which
So
it's not gonna. All of that situation is not gonna happen.
Why do these ships look like they're made out of Legos? So, sorry.
For viewers, I'm sharing the images of the ships in our Discord, which you can get there in the Discord of the Nerd Asylum, on the chat of the what's it called?
Homeward?
NA content,
Homeward.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah.
Sorry.
it's where
I
you
got
could also
distracted.
talk to us about weird theories.
We love talking about
We're normal theories.
Obscure
it's us.
theories.
They're all weird.
Okay.
Kay
Oh.
will point to the kind of shiny gold one. And
So there's
that one has guns.
Gold
Oh,
also doesn't retain heat.
quick
It's also very
question.
easy to see on a white surface.
I'm assuming that these smaller ships are the ones that S would have had more interactions with in his time before.
So, out of the 3 ships that you see, the 3 types of ships, the smaller ones are like gold with red.
Mhm.
The colors kind of make up a similar like situation. Like you recognize the colors similar to the ones of the uniforms of some of the legionaries that you've seen around, and you see at least 7 of them. There's some of them that are kind of
They're
bit
fighters.
damaged, but they're spread out. And as you mentioned that the Casata looks at you. Yeah. I mean, for that you have to take 2 ships. They can only hold two people. They're kind of fast, apparently, for what they were saying, but we haven't been able to take any of them off from the places they were crashed around and pushed to the side. The other over there, he points at the one that looks kind of like kind of the boxy one, like
A
that
chicken
has,
nugget
like,
box from McDonald's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Chicken
Lego
McNugget
bricks?
box?
Yeah.
kind of does like that, yeah. The one that has that appearance of like a. if
Yeah, the
you're-
McNugget box with Lego bricks.
There's
Yeah.
a specific toy that McDonald's made in the 70s that was a chicken McNugget box that folds out into an airplane.
I
And it
know
Oh
looks
my
just
God!
like that. I'll show
I
you.
know exactly what you're talking about.
Carry
that is
on.
like a childhood memory unlocked right there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, that one over there.
Not from the 70s, but I know what you're talking about.
So that one over there, he points at the chicken McNugget one. Um, that one can fly. We kind of test it out. We move it around here in the hangar, and it has some medical equipment inside. And the other one, and you see the other two. They're the last one I share with you. That one that has like this spread wings on the back and kind of a more
More Star Wars looking one.
kind of like that, yeah, out of the art. There's two of those. One of them you do see has quite a damage on the side, and there's another one that is properly landed with its landing gear set. And he points at the one that is available. Other one, it's fast, has enough space for people. I think we can add some cargo area in it. So those two over there are the ones I would recommend for your group, unless you want to go flying as, two individual ships.
How
So
much cargo? How much cargo area can you add?
Well, like plenty boxes, I suppose. I haven't tried filling it up. You can try filling it up if you want, and you tell me later.
So, I'm thinking S would have had experience with smaller flying spaceships from before when he was doing his stuff, because it's not his strong suit, but he's definitely got experience with it. Could I draw upon that information to see which would be out of the two ships, the medical or the cargo one, which model would be better for our excursion?
While S is doing that, Kay's just gonna look at everybody and go, "Don't we need to carry stuff back?"
Yeah, that would be what cargo is. So I'm gonna look at S and I'm just gonna see that S is doing math. So I'm gonna go back and be like, I'm pretty sure that's what S is figuring out, is which ship holds more stuff.
For actually, the one that would know how much material required would be you, Mac.
Oh, it would be me, wouldn't it?
Yeah, because you're the one that has been interacting with the repairs of the Drake
Yeah.
engine.
It's just
So this is a thing that is more like for you guys to decide as players. This will be like player decision. And if you take the medical one, it could help you in case, rolls go pretty fucking bad. And you require some tending wounds. And the other one will not have that ability for you. But if you want to carry some extra stuff that you may find of more resources of this particular minerals and the materials that you require, then it could very well fit that. Thing is, if you want to grab more of those, it might take you a bit extra time to do.
We got people that can do magic. It'll be fine.
Okay. Can I get a first aid kit before we leave if we're taking the cargo?
Yeah, same.
I need a survivalist's kit. Thank you very much.
First aid kit as well.
I think all of you do have the stim one. I think even some of you have two of those healing stims that I forgot their name of them. Like the
I don't
equivalent
have
of a
it.
healing potion.
I don't have one.
It's not on my character sheet if I
I've
do
got
have
one.
one.
It's not on
I
my
wrote my
character sheet
stuff
either.
down.
No, I don't have one.
I have a knife, anything food art related I can think of, an arc pistol, and armor.
I have my armor and I have my swords, and that's only because I my gun and my sword, and it's because I stole those off a dead body.
As one does.
You do.
I was a criminal.
No, mine actually says anything food art I can think of. That's a equipment.
Lovely.
I did not think ahead, apparently.
Yeah, we can't just write stem packs on here.
Oh yeah. In the starting equipment, I told you guys you could have one MKQ healing serum. No, MK1 healing serum. So
Zachary,
I
you
just
didn't
then
tell me
forgot.
that. I would have put it on my sheet.
I'm just gonna heal, and then next to it, I'm just gonna put stem pack so I know what it is.
let's just say that you guys will prepare a bit of extra equipment that you may require. And we'll see about having that equipment ready as you depart.
Sounds good. That sounds smart. Somebody was
Yeah,
smart. Thank you, Faye, for being smart.
I'm just looking at like we're gonna get screwed up out there. I know it, and I'm like looking at my medicine, and I'm like, I can do it, but I won't have materials unless I grab something.
I would let you guys before going out because like the planet is not going anywhere, and your ship neither. So you have time to prepare a bit for this excursion, which we'll be
Yeah.
doing
I
next
really
episode.
hope that planet's not going anywhere.
All I need to
planets-
do is grab a first aid kit, and then I'm good to go.
All right.
Counter planets that move?
all the planets move.
Okay, look here, buddy.
So, with that as our group of characters, heroes, and
The squad.
the squad,
Adventures, squad goals.
the squad. Yeah, because we do not know if everybody in this group is a hero or not. Apparently, the squad is preparing to do their first planet incursion. Not incursion, how strong. Excursion. Thank you. The first planet excursion into this unexplored new world. That's gonna be happening on the next episode. Thank you everybody for joining us. Remember to check socials for the Nerd Asylum. You can find us as the Nerd Asylum, just like that, in Twitter, Facebook. I think there's a TikTok too,
Yes.
and Instagram
TikTok?
too. And what else? We'll be catching you guys probably for next Monday. Will be for the next stream of NA by Night, if I recall correctly. Yeah, it's gonna be next Monday. And for the moment, we have no other show at the moment.
'Cause
Yeah.
Somebody got a
think
new
it-
job.
Somebody got a new job, and life is absorbing. Life is being life, and I don't. Anything? Any of you guys want to plug?
Always. Hi, I'm Faye. If you want to see more of me, I do a lot of stuff on my server called Wildwitch RP. You can find out more about that at wildwitch.com, WILDEWITCH.com, with all of our social links for Facebook, Twitter, and the invite to our Discord server. We do a lot of Twitch streaming for our games as well. Tons of fun. Definitely check us out, please.
Yeah. Without more to say,